Looks like we're getting near the crucial time here.
Yes. Here I've got my little dish of, not ice water, cold water.
Now, what is the purpose of the cold water? Is this a soft ball
This
test?
is to determine the soft ball. You let a few drops of your fudge into the bowl and you kind of gather them together, and if they form into a little ball like this, see it? Can you see that?
I can right now.
It's a little ball, but it kind of flattens. When you take it out, you're done. You're ready.
Okay.
So I'm going to take it off of this burner and put it on this cold burner. And I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of butter, which I have here, and I'm just going to drop them in. Just drop them in.
Just 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons, and do not stir them in.
Just let them land in the fudge?
Yes, and do not disturb the pan. I mean, even if you were going to move it off to a rack, you'd be very careful not to disturb it. But I'm just going to leave it right on here because air can go under there and help cool it.
So the idea is we leave the pan alone and do not disturb.
Do not disturb it.
Will we just be in a waiting period now?
Definitely we are now going to wait until it cools down to the point where I can put my hand on the bottom of the pan and it should be, oh see I moved it, which isn't going to hurt it, but better you don't.
So when the bottom of the pan is cool to the touch,
or even just comfortably warm,
we know
then it's ready to start beating.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that, and we'll come back to that later.
Well, our fudge has cooled down now.
Okay. About how long have we been waiting?
Oh, I think it was an hour.
About an hour wait, okay.
Oh, yeah. I can now comfortably touch the bottom of the pan.
Okay.
It's warm, but I can still hold it. So at this point, I'm going to take out my thermometer. Don't need that anymore. I'm going to add my teaspoon of vanilla extract. And this is where the elbow grease comes in. It has to be beat first.
Time for beating.
That's right. I'm going to start out a little gently because otherwise the butter will splatter around. So I want to make sure it's completely mixed in there. And since this is a sort of tedious part of it, you can see it. Can you?
Yes.
Shot of that. It's very glossy, quite thick, but what we have to do now is beat constantly until it gets very thick and starts losing that shininess, and that's when we have to be prepared to get our pan, pour it in. So at this point it's where I don't like to stand up anymore, so I sit down, put a towel here, and it's a constant beating process here. You just keep doing it and doing it until you feel it's losing its shine.
Now, typically this is going to take 5 or 10 minutes?
Yes, unfortunately, and it is, hard on the arm because it is quite thick.
Now, is this what we've heard you talking other times about the crucial point?
This is
when you pour it.
Very critical.
This would determine how soft the fudge becomes, or if it's hard and brittle.
That's right. And so this is a case of just judgment, watching it constantly.
And how do you know when it's time to actually do the pour?
Well, as I say, when you can tell that it's not quite as shiny, it's beginning to look dull.
So it's looking at that glossy or dull or finish where it's starting to change.
Right, that is exactly
okay.
the point you're going to look for. So there, beat and beat and beat. This is the place where I like to have one of my big strong sons around and let him beat it for a while.
If they do that, but since I'm one of those sons, I don't ever remember you asking me to beat your
Well,
fudge.
I think I did.
Well, okay.
I have in the past. Not very often. Usually nobody's around when I'm making it. So it's more a case of me just...
Now, as I recall, you gave Jim a batch of your fudge for Christmas this year.
That's right.
Now, how is it he was so fortunate to be the one to be the recipient of that?
Well, I'll tell you. Because at the same time, I made a batch of fudge for here at home. And since you live here, it was tantamount to me giving you your own batch of fudge. I maybe had 1 or 2 pieces.
Okay.
And so in that respect, I think you got... Oh, we were going to make a correction here.
Oh, yes.
On the corn syrup. I'm double checking. I find that you can use dark corn syrup as well as light. It doesn't really matter.
So whether it's light or regular, just get your standard corn
yes.
syrup from the supermarket.
That's right. Any of these ingredients, by the way, you can obtain in probably even in one of your little corner markets.
Or grocery store.
Yes, right. It doesn't have to be a supermarket.
Have you ever thought about what the cost is to make a batch of fudge?
No, I haven't. In fact, you're asking me that, and just the other day I was thinking, I should try and figure that out.
So it's something that's, for now, it's just something you buy the ingredients, and it can't cost too much because it's what we had the baker's chocolate.
Yes.
And the butter, and so there weren't that many
No, it's only 2 tablespoons of butter.
big ticket ingredients.
Yeah, that's right. And so far I've made, what did I say? I made 1, 2, 3. This is my 4th batch of fudge with 2 cups of sugar each. And I still have a lot left out of a 5-pound bag.
I notice, are you working harder now? Is the fudge starting to solidify? Or is it just thickening?
It's thickening, but it's quite shiny.
Okay, so again, it's looking at that finish to see if it's a glossy or starting to change to a duller finish.
That's right. And see, that's why my batch yesterday probably wasn't quite solid enough because I got tired and I poured it too soon.
Right. So physical conditioning then is a part of fudge making.
Yeah, if I, worked out there at the gym, I probably would have no problem whatsoever.
But as we know, that you're not a big fan of working out at the gym.
Not too big.
So
I don't get over there very often. I think it's getting close.
It is, and how do we know this?
Well, it's not quite so shiny. It's very thick. There's a feel to it, I guess. It's just so hard to explain.
Well, let's take a closer look there. And I have it on.
Oh, you do? I'm going to pour.
Still